It now officially seems like China and Russia have now officially joined forces together, and they're bringing out stuff that we've never seen before. Take a look at this stuff right here. God knows what in the world this is, but apparently they're bringing this massive looking missile out. Look at the size of this thing. Compare that with any of the cars, and look at the amount of size this thing is. And this is right now being displayed outside in the highway in China, and it just seems like they are getting ready for something massive. Now, apart from this, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Russia is also ready with some of their massive game. Things are definitely getting heated up after what Trump has been doing with the Greenland situation right now. It seems like both the massive nuclear nations, are now ready with one of their biggest and massive and most powerful missiles that are basically being kept on the highway. So this could just be a button away from being launched, and nobody knows what in the world is going to be happening in the next 48 hours or probably in the coming couple of days, because things are getting real serious after what Trump just said a couple hours ago. Because this right here is what Trump has been saying.
We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not. Because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor.
Now, to be honest, man, I don't know if Russia and the Chinese are the ones that are actually trying to create the war. But right now, it just seems like Trump is just using Russia and China as an excuse in order to take over Greenland, because he always had his eyes on Greenland. Because word on the street is that there are some very rare minerals that are available only in Greenland, which is basically used in order to produce a lot of weaponries and technologies and all that stuff. So apparently he's been having eye on Greenland for a very long time. And now, since, it's very convenient, he's basically just playing the blame game, putting stuff on China and Russia, and now it seems like he's eyeing out straight onto Greenland. And on January 9th, Trump made this absolutely crazy statement, which kind of just left Russia to be extremely furious, and China is now taking massive actions against what his new plans are.
Now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay? I would like to make a deal of, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. And by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too, I have to tell you, and they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also, but we need that. Not going to have Russia.
I mean, it very much reminds me of how Americans basically got America. It was not theirs. They just landed in there, started claiming that it was their land. That's basically what Americans did. And now he's the one to talk about just landing a boat in there and claim the place. And there's also more as to what Trump said here.
Mr. President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect the security?
Because when we own it, we defend it.
I mean, exactly, right? They could basically just ask Denmark in order to give them full permission in order to go into Greenland and just operate that place, because they don't want to be surprised by China or Russia in any sort of sense. So why don't Americans just do that instead of just taking over their entire land?
You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. And, with a nation, look at what happened with Obama, with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal. It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals. Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland, and that's what's going to happen if we don't. Go ahead.
So basically, Trump states that he's going to take Greenland whether they like it or not. It's basically what he's always wanted for many years, and now he's eyeing in, and he's basically going to go ahead and take it. And this has now caused a lot of issues in Netherlands, because this is basically what Netherlands looks like right now. Like, all nations all across Europe are now preparing for something massive that could happen any moment, because now we never know what's going to happen with Iran and Israel. And since Iran is now resupplied with some of the craziest missiles that Russia supplied to them, so we never know what's going to happen. And they're basically getting ready for one of the massive destructions that we've ever seen in the history so far. Just today,
Greenland,
and it's just absolutely arrogant right here.
Greenland said today, we prefer to stay with Denmark. Do you see that as the
Who
final
said
word?
that?
The premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him. But that's going to be a big problem for him.
Greenland,
So
sir,
he's basically saying that he doesn't know who the prime minister is, and it's not his problem if he disagrees with him controlling Greenland. So it's basically like he's not even giving the people that own the place a chance. It's like, I don't really care. I want it, so I'm just going to take it. It doesn't really matter. It's your problem. If you want to stop me, try to stop me. And I'm way more powerful than you. And that's just one of the most retarded ways to like put things out, especially when all nations are now rising up and it just looks like this is going to be the end of the world. And now it just seems like the final end time prophecies might indeed come true eventually. Because right when all of these things are happening, apparently it seems like the Sea of Galilee, the sea in which Jesus walked on the water, is now turning red in color, but then Israel has some sort of a reason for it. But eventually, the point here is that it's basically turning red, which is something that is described in the Bible as the end time prophecy that will happen before the massive great war is going to start. So these are some of the end time prophecies, and it's literally happening right now, right before our eyes.
So why isn't
Look at
anybody
this stuff.
talking about the Sea of Galilee
A huge shout out to Brain Teaser Nation for making this video.
turning red? So Israel Water Authority explained that the red coloration is due to the accumulation natural pigment secreted by the strong algae in response to strong sun exposure. Now, they gave a statement on Monday and stated that the pigment
Look at
was
that
non-toxic.
stuff. That looks very much red.
But in the Bible, which sea turns red? You guessed it, the Sea of Galilee. Now, in Revelation 16-1, the first angel went out and poured out his water on the land. And ugly and pain sores broke out on the people who had the mark of the beast and worshipped his image. Now, the second angel poured out his bowl on the sea, which it turned into blood, like that of a dead man. And every living thing in the sea died. Now, the biblical sea is actually a freshwater lake in northern Israel, and the waters turning red hearken to the Old Testament account of the water of the Nile River. The red rivers of the Nile is one of the plagues that God brought to Egypt to convince the
Look at
pharaohs
that, man. Wow.
to free enslaved
Even the sand looks red in color.
Israel's, which is according to the book of Exodus. Are these the last days coming? Do we believe Israel Water Authority, or do we believe the Bible?
You know what? I honestly think that even though there are explanations that are being given for the fact that, you know, the sea is turning red, but still, the Bible doesn't really give us a solid, you know, particular reason as to why the sea would turn red, right? The Bible basically mentions that it's going to look blood red in color, and that's basically what's happening. And also, if you look at some of the other prophecies, the end time prophecies, you'll also see that all of those things are also being fulfilled, because right now, all nations are going against each other. And as these things are happening, it seems like Trump is super confident. And in a recent interview, he basically states that he can very easily destroy China with the amount of weapons and technology that Americans possess. I don't want to say much about this, but just take a look at the stuff which is coming from Washington, D.C., where Trump himself mentions the following.
You see it. It's happening. They have some cards. We have incredible cards, but I don't want to play those cards. That would, if I played those cards, that would destroy China. I'm not going to play those cards.
But what's very concerning here is that Trump has now deployed what is known as the Doomsday Plane. This plane, it's only supposed to be flying up in the sky when the president of the United States is going to be sitting inside of this plane only when something massive happens in times like nuclear wars, something like that, you know, when America is basically being hit by other nations and there's nowhere for the president to hide safe. This plane right here, known as the Doomsday Plane, is basically going to keep the president safe, even from a blast radius that is being caused by a nuclear bomb itself. So that's how powerful this plane is. It can basically take in all the blast radius and still nothing's going to happen. It's just going to work as though nothing really went wrong. So that's the plane that is currently being brought down. And for the very first time in 50 years, Trump has now brought back this plane, and I don't know what the hell is going to be happening. Take a look at this
For
right
the first
here.
time in its more than 50-year operational history, the Boeing 747 E-4B Nightwatch, widely known as the Doomsday Plane, was seen at Los Angeles International Airport on Thursday evening. The rare appearance of this airborne command center has quickly drawn attention. The aircraft, designed to operate during nuclear conflict and national emergencies, has been spotted in the skies, raising serious questions about the timing and purpose of its movement. Why now, and what prompted its presence over one of America's largest cities?
It's really very clear at this point that something major is happening. And also, if you take a look at Iran, as you know, the currency of entire nation has now fully fallen. As you know, Iranian reals have now absolutely fallen to $0. If you exchange that with any other nation's currencies, you'll basically see that the worth of Iranian reals is basically $0. So that's how bad it is. Inflation has just taken over. Things are getting very heated up. You know, people are trying to overthrow the government in Iran.
President Donald Trump
that's
has
basically
issued a
what's going
stark
on.
warning to Iran, saying the US will
Look at this
intervene
stuff.
if authorities
Damn.
turn on protesters rallying against the country's spiraling economic crisis.
It looks like
protesters
the entire
have filled Iran's
nation
streets for the 12th consecutive
is out there
day
protesting.
in mass anti-government demonstrations.
I've
Wow.
told them that if they do anything bad to these people, we're going to hit them very hard.
So if
He
there
just
is
wants
mass
reason, man.
murder
I'll tell
by
you.
the Iranian Ayatollahs and those leadership, you're pledging to the people of Iran that you will come to their aid.
I've said it very loud and very clear. Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
His comments come as Iran imposes a nationwide blackout on internet and phone services.
Damn.
US President Donald
So there is basically no internet. There is no electricity. Everything is being shut down in Iran right now because they don't want, all of these messages to be spreading out there in the world. But everything is shut down. People are protesting. I don't know what the hell is really going on down there in Iran, but it looks like, things have gone way out of control. And there is absolutely nothing they can do apart from just starting a massive, large-scale battle against Americans. Probably, Chinese are now getting ready. Looking at the kind of state that, Russia is currently in, it looks like they've already activated what's known as the Doomsday Signal. It looks like Russia has now activated what is known as the Doomsday Radio. Look at this thing right here. So the Doomsday Radio is just activated and transmitted encrypted codes. Something big can happen very soon. Man, this is just absolutely crazy. So apparently, if you read the descriptions here, it says that the Russian mysterious Doomsday Radio just went silent. Then suddenly it began transmitting encrypted codes again. Now, this Cold War era signal has been linked to nuclear commands and has stayed active for over 40 years. But every time it starts sending messages like these, it's always something big that's going to be happening. Now, right when the Americans have now brought back the Doomsday Plane, the Russians have now brought back the Doomsday's radio signal. This footage right here has been going viral in Trump's recent interview to the press conference, where you can actually see that there are these billionaire couples who basically donated billions of dollars. Were actually being praised by President Trump. And then you can basically look at this woman who a lot of people are calling that she could be the shape-shifting reptilian that are living among us. Just take a look at some of the most weirdest activities that this woman performed.
The strange behavior of a woman
stage.
during
Look
a
at that
press
face.
conference in the Oval Office
Look
of
at
the
that
White
face.
House has gone viral on social media, with many asking, who is she? It's Susan Dell, the wife of billionaire and Dell CEO Michael Dell. The couple recently donated more than $6
That
billion
doesn't look very
to fund
normal to
American
me.
children.
That really does not look normal in any sort of way. And it seems like many people have indeed noticed this, and a lot of people are calling out that it's the reptilians. They're coming out, you know, they're just wearing some sort of a human skin and whatnot, and fooling around us people. But whatever it is, man, I've got to take a look at this thing one more time. This is massive. I have no words as to what in the world this really is that China is bringing out. Honestly, man, if things goes bad, if they're gonna launch this shit, that's just ridiculous. Look at the size of this thing. Wow. Wow. Is this what their nuclear missiles looks like? And if that's the case, I don't know, man. Honestly, Israel, honestly, Iran, and the United States, and all those warmongering nations right now, it's really bad because China is getting their big guns out, and it definitely doesn't look good that they have now brought this out in the highway for whatever reason. It looks really terrifying, and honestly, I'm really concerned to see what's going to happen in the coming days. Anything bad could happen in the coming 48 hours or like a couple of days from now, because things are escalating, and Trump is basically saying that he's going to take over Greenland and is not giving back Russian ships that he has captured, which has tons of oil in there. And also, China has invested billions of dollars in Venezuela's oil extraction. And now Trump's taken over that place, and obviously China wants that place back, or at least they want the money that they've invested in that place, and obviously Trump doesn't agree to that stuff. So Trump is basically just asking everybody to F off since he has captured the president, so it doesn't really matter. He owns everything. But at the end of the day, it just looks like the end time prophecies are indeed coming real. I mean, we've had so many different battles with Israel and, you know, many nations in the past, but I don't think there's ever been something this massive, this huge, where, you know, superpower nations are now getting involved. And whatever this new battle is going to stir up with, it just looks like it's following the basic principles of everything that the Bible has already warned us about, with the end times battle that's going to take place in Armageddon battlefield, where millions of soldiers from the east are going to head down there, and that's basically where the battle is going to take place. And I think this is basically it. This could be the beginning of the end that the Bible has been describing. Now, I honestly want to know what you guys think about everything that we have spoken about in today's podcast. It's going to be a very interesting topic. Now, I would strongly recommend you guys to go ahead and share this video with your family, friends, and people that are really not taking the end time prophecies mentioned in the Bible very seriously, because now it's happening, and now is the time that we need to share this message to as many people as possible. Now, if you guys did enjoy this episode of today's podcast, please make sure to go ahead and drop a like on this video and leave any sort of comment. It boosts the YouTube algorithm in order to push the video to as many people as possible. So this way we can make sure that our videos are having as much reach as possible to as many people as possible. So this is the only way that we can spread the content that we make on this channel. So it's really crucial that you guys take a very, very tiny second of your valuable time and show your support. It really means a lot. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Till then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.